going to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly that feminism has caused on the dating market. And we're going to find out what Tori's dad said when she asked him, what would you do, Dad, if I brought home a LaMarcus? Torsia Tuesdays start right now. Donovan Sharp, and welcome to this edition of Torsia Tuesdays. I, of course, am your co-host, Donovan Sharp. I am joined by the lovely and talented Tori Grow, a.k.a. Torsia. Now, the reason why we are late is because Tori figured out how to alleviate the hissing sound. Remember this, guys? There was a big-time hissing sound. I don't know if Tori can still hear it or not, but she figured it out. We went through the whole thing step by step, and I said, okay, you know what? You're a lot smarter than you look. So shout out to Tori for being more than meets the eye here.
Thank you. Should I be unmuted?
No, yes, you should definitely be unmuted at this point in time.
Okay, I didn't know. I was like, fuck, I forgot.
You can talk now. You can talk now. Yes, language. Shout out to my guys on the YouTube side, Dirty Dan, Dre Raven, Technomage B5, of course, and of course the lovely and talented Devon. I'm also going to pull up the Sharp Stream chat here in just a second. So, Tori, before we get started here, how was your Thanksgiving, your holiday? Did you eat a lot? What happened?
Does anyone really care?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
It was great. I go to the soup kitchen on holidays, so I had a good old time.
You go to the you go to the soup kitchen to get soup or to feed?
No, to help. I'm the help.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I mean, for all we know, you might be secretly homeless. I don't know.
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Just making sure we are clear on that. So I'm actually gonna leave this up to you. Do you want to talk about the subject first and then show the video with you talking to your dad, or do you want to see that right now?
I think we should hold off and see whoever stays in the chat.
Ah, very good. So,
like this video if you haven't liked it already.
Yes, like the video if you haven't liked it already. We would greatly appreciate that. So what we're going to talk about today, Tori, is really the main reason why, mainly the reason why you are in this space in the first place, the red pill space, and that is the adverse effects that feminism has had on dating and relationships. So give me your opening salvo, Tori, on just what you think feminism has done to dating and relationships and how it's crippled things.
Oh, I mean, we could take it back.
Take it back.
1865.
Do it. Go ahead and do it. Whoa, yeah. Whoa. Yeah, do it. Let's go.
It was very bad that they gave us the right to vote. Now hear me out when I say that. I know, everybody, all the feminists, like, we were property. Hear me out.
All right, let's hear it.
Women pretty much destroyed the economic structure that we have to this day. But let's go through the years, okay? When people break down the feminist waves, it's all bad, all of it. I think we're just trying to minimize some of the not recent, but what do they say? Is it the third wave? I don't know.
Yeah, third wave or fourth wave. I don't know which one we're on. We're on like fifth or sixth wave. Who knows? But it's bad.
Yeah, who knows? Who the fuck cares? Other than
language,
the fact that feminism
language.
is horrible. Fudge. Sorry. Go. What in the flying fudge? That's my new line.
All right, good.
But so you could go all the way back there. And I remember Rollo said something, shout out Rollo Tomasi, about how women, like the feminist movement, was almost viewed what we would see as terrorists today, like bombing churches.
Right.
But nobody sees it like that, obviously. But then you move to the 60s, and that's where pretty much everything that we know today came about, was in the 60s.
Okay.
And if you really want to pinpoint what exactly was the reason that relationships are so messed up today, and when I say messed up, I mean marriages are dropping, fertility rates are low, and all of that, it's the birth control pill. That's where I see where everything kind of changed.
Okay.
Because that was our main mating strategy.
That's right.
Was we're the more vulnerable sex.
Okay.
So am I making sense?
Yeah, you're making sense. I'll actually add to what you just said there. I agree with you 100%. There are many, many things that have caused relationships these days to devolve into what we're seeing right now. And don't worry, guys, the phone lines will be open. And stick around, guys, because I've got the video of Tori asking her father, what would you do if I brought a guy named LaMarcus home? Basically, if I brought home a nigga dad, like, what would you do? Now, Tori can't say that because she's white, but I'm going to say it because I'm black. But stick around for that. It was actually quite funny. But, yeah, it was absolutely the advent of hormonal birth control. And what you were just getting at was that for sex, even today, even with hormonal birth control, women are they're biologically hardwired to know and understand that sex is more risky for them. If you have sex, you could get pregnant. And because women only have a finite number of years to give birth to a finite number of people, women tend to be the more selective sex. This is why women are far pickier than men. Men, we can reproduce till the day we die. We'll stick our dick in pretty much anything if we've got our beer goggles on long enough. That's normally how that goes. But with the advent of hormonal birth control, that completely took away all of the risk for when it came to having sex. So you go to the 60s and the 70s, and all of a sudden now, wait a minute, I can have sex and not have to worry about getting pregnant? Let me pop these birth control pills, and before you know it, we've got girls who have double and triple digit notch counts before they're even in their 30s.
And abortions.
Yes.
Probably not double count for that, but
sure.
I mean,
Noit Roba.
They have that too.
Yeah. No, I absolutely positively agree. Now, so you obviously take a very unpopular stance. So let's go all the way back, I guess, to the
conventional or whatever.
Yeah, right. Conventional, traditional, whatever the case may be. Because I imagine your family's probably as traditional as you are. I would imagine. Who knows? But how do women respond to you when they hear you talking?
I've had a lot of women reaching out as of recently, thanking me for speaking on something that a lot of women feel the same way about, but they're scared to talk about it and try to verbalize it on any platform because of, feminists take over TikTok. I don't know if that's
yes.
That somebody told me, I don't know if this is true, but the people that run TikTok, it's not China like everybody thinks. I knew that, but it's actually like a feminist group that works in Silicon Valley.
Really?
I swear to God, like no cap. Somebody look into it and double check that. But
listen, Tori, I think it's obvious. I don't think you had to tell anyone here that TikTok is run by SJWs out in Silicon Valley. I've lost 3 or 4 TikTok accounts. Myra Gaines has lost 6 TikTok accounts. You told me you could get mine back, but I don't think so.
I could. I'm confident in that.
I mean,
can do a lot of shit you don't think.
Are you sleeping with Mr. TikTok? Like, how was this? How were you able to do this?
No, I know how to get around the AI software. I know what triggers it and stuff.
Okay.
I studied it.
Let me ask you
a lot of shit.
Okay, so let me ask you a direct question. If you were 200 pounds more than you were now, could you still get me my TikTok account back?
100%.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to see. Shout out to Grizzly Rising, says inquiring minds want to know. Trust me, guys, we will definitely get to that. We're going to open up the phone lines here very, very shortly. Jason Moreno is in the house. Dre Raven says, yes, you're making sense. Shout out to Chris Johnson. Welcome to Chat Privileges. I appreciate that. Chris Johnson says, been busy at work. That's a damn shame. Jay Blaze on the Sharp Stream side says TikTok is utter garbage. What are your? You seem to be very good at TikTok. I was gonna say you probably disagree with that. Why don't you think TikTok is garbage? What purpose does that serve?
I think it's so important as somebody who is, I wouldn't call myself an anti-feminist. That even sounds radical alone. Like I wouldn't say that.
Sure.
But I think it's important that women, at least my younger generation, sees what it like the effects are of this whole feminist movement. Like they genuinely don't know. It's not until I get the comments and then I DM them and then they end up becoming my subscribers. It's like we're so programmed
Wow.
from a very early age. I mean, I can vividly remember being told, be a boss bitch. You can
Yeah.
make your own money. You
Yeah.
don't need a man. But my mom was over here like, marry rich. Like,
Yes,
I
of
love
course.
Donna.
Of
She's
course.
crazy.
Well, let me ask you this. So you mean to tell me that you're actually converting people? So when somebody's trolling you in the comments, you DM them and say, hey, this is not really the way this is. Let me tell you why I'm anti-feminist. And they end up becoming a supporter of yours?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that they're trolling. I think they're triggered. I
Okay.
think it's more like it's their real identity, you know, like
Okay.
trolls, I think they just try to cause commotion, but these are women that generally don't understand how like we live in a capitalist. I mean, it goes far
Of
if
course.
you
Of
really want to
course.
go there, but
Well, let's do
I
it.
mean, after World War II and stuff with women getting into the workforce and the dollar,
Anti-feminist.
I
And
won't go there. I won't go there. But yeah, they do.
okay.
And a lot of women started channels on YouTube. Not a lot of women, I'm
Sure.
exaggerating, but two of them. So, and that was over the course of a week where I had put red pill female. I rebranded everything just to stay niche down.
Okay.
And so people knew what they were getting into when they got to my channel. And that's when
wow.
I started receiving emails.
Okay. Okay. And
It's a good thing.
I was going to say, it sounds like it's beneficial. What, in your opinion, is the worst thing that feminism has done? And we'll get into the dating part later, but what's the worst thing feminism has done to the institution of marriage? Other than the birth rates being down and this and that, in your opinion, what's the worst thing feminism has done to marriage as we know it today here in 2021?
So we talked about how the women is the more vulnerable sex. Men had to fight for us, protect us, right? So I'm going back there.
Okay.
However, as soon as they gave us the right to vote, that's when men started to lose their rights when it came to marriage and custody laws years later. But okay, you guys, everybody, I think, forgets, and I was talking about this the other day. When we think about, you know, people, what do you call it? It's like if one person lives to 100, that's 100 years ago, and that's 3 people ago.
Sure.
Or not 3 people. It's 1 people ago where all of this happened. So I don't know if that helps at what rate we're going. That's like a blink.
You're talking about a generation is what you're talking
Yes.
about. Yeah. Right.
But so when you take away the person's rights who protect you, remember I was saying the thing about we're the vulnerable sex.
Okay. Okay.
And you move to, you know, this society where cutting off your genitals, I'm going to be blatantly honest, is like cheered on.
Yeah.
You know, we're literally feminizing our men. And I think
yes.
that has been the most harmful thing in terms of marriage,
Okay.
because you're breaking down men. They have no rights. As soon as the sperm leaves the you know what, you know,
The
I don't
penis.
know. Did I make sense?
That makes perfect sense. I want to go back to the whole right to vote thing. So in your opinion, how did the right to, because I understand where you're going there, but
Yeah.
go a little bit more in depth. How did giving, because I'm not the guy who says take away women's right to vote. That's not going to
Yeah.
happen.
But how would they? You
Ex-
can't do it now.
Exactly. You certainly can't do it now. So when we go back, how
Yeah.
did giving women the right to vote cripple men? How did that take power away from men?
So it's gonna be kind of a stretch. So hear
do
me
it.
out. Like
I understand. Like, so,
women,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
so women, it kind of goes with women don't understand, and I'm not saying that they're stupid. They're not stupid. They're not worthless. This has nothing to do with like an individual,
Right.
but they don't understand how to keep things balanced
Okay.
and how to keep the economy balanced. And I
Okay.
know that sounds really weird if you're just tuning in, but marriage was a way to keep everything balanced. It gave men a purpose to hold responsibility, to um, not cheat on the wife and get caught,
Right.
like don't get caught, do
Okay.
your thing. But
Mm-hmm.
it gave them a sense of belonging. And if you are into red pill at all, you know that the number one thing we kind of preach is to hold men to be accountable,
Right.
like be responsible, be a man that everybody keeps telling you not to be.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh
So
yeah.
marriage was kind of that structure for them. Now with women, you're telling them to be the boss bitch, tell her
Right.
to get in the workforce. Women are going to take those lesser paying jobs
Yes.
and they're not going to negotiate. So what does that do? Like, it's like, oh, okay. They go into shitty degrees like psychology, myself included. It's
Uh-oh.
like when you start to, it's okay. When you start to demand egalitarianism,
Mm-hmm.
is everybody following what I'm saying?
Listen,
I know it's
I've got three follow-up questions as soon as you're done because you're making some good points. So
okay.
keep going.
Okay. I know it was hard for me to understand. I mean, I read Rollo's fourth book, Religion. I think people forget that all of this stuff ties in to religion. I highly
Absolutely.
recommend reading that book. It every time I asked Rollo a question in person, he goes, "I mentioned that in my fourth book," and I was like, "I got to read this fourth book," because it was the stuff I didn't understand, and that was politics and
Okay.
like how marriages are breaking up, and pretty much like they fucked it up. They fucked it up. I don't know what else to say. They fudged it up.
There
I'm
we go.
working on
I
it.
was going to say language, please. So you said marriage kept women balanced. In
No,
terms of
kept men
kept men
balanced.
balanced. Now, in terms of women not understanding, and again, and I've always been of the mind, I'm never the guy who's going to say, and maybe I had a little bit stronger stance 4 or 5 years ago, but
Mhm.
the longer you live, the more perspective you have. The point is that men and women are not the same. We're not equal, we're not the same, but in my mind, men are not superior to women and women are not superior or inferior to men. Men and women, we complement each other. We
Yeah.
complement each other in relationships. And so when it comes to balancing and being in charge of things, I'm of the mind that when left to their own devices, when left to be in control of one thing, women are naturally
Children.
self-destructive. There you go. You're right. They're naturally self-destructive. Now,
Yes.
we say all the time that women are overgrown children, and you guys are.
We're children.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that women don't have utility. That doesn't mean that women are useless. I'm here to tell you, listen, my girlfriend is as useful to me as she's
Yeah.
ever been. So, what are your thoughts on women? Why do you think women are on why do you think women's default programming is self-destruction or to be destructive, or am I getting that wrong?
Can you repeat the second part?
Yeah, yeah. What are your thoughts on women being naturally self-destructive? Like, women are the default setting for a woman when left to their own devices or in charge
Yeah.
of something by themselves, they tend to destroy things.
Probably because they operate better with structure and in a society where they pretty much give them the freedom to do whatever they want and they're being told by different institutions like school,
Mm-hmm.
which is predominantly female. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
You're right.
I think it allows them to behave in a certain way without consequence. I
Okay.
know that's vague, but
That's
I
not
think your
vague.
question's broad.
Well, listen, it's vague and the question is broad, but and listen, I'm not against having predominantly women being in the public school system
I
as
am.
well up to a certain age, right? I'm thinking preschool, kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth grade. I'm all for all women because women are more nurturing and kids at that age need more nurture. But when you get up into middle school, high school, this is when men need to take over. Female teachers when they teach young children, that's when they're at their best. The elementary school teacher, the kindergarten teacher, those teachers are absolutely doing their job so long as they're not pushing any sort of narrative. But I agree with you in that teachers need to hold boys and girls to the same standard. Teachers these days, and this is regardless of age or grade, they tell little boys, well, you should share, and they tell little girls, well, Tommy should give you the toy simply because you asked for it, and if Tommy doesn't give you the toy, you can just come and tell me and I'll take the toy from Tommy. That's what creates that lack of accountability for their behavior. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I'm going to disagree with you on this one just as a psychology student.
Let's hear it.
We learn, and I know what you're saying, and it doesn't have to necessarily be in that scenario, but when psychologists observe children who will not share toys, any of that is, you can make the assumption that child will end up developing conduct disorder in their teens.
Wow.
And if anybody is familiar with conduct disorder, that usually will predict antisocial personality disorder. And the sharing component, psychopathy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy
So
God.
sharing, it's more so it's the sharing if you keep taking the toy from the kid, and then also if you have disregard for any of their things and you take it and lie. That's another one.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? They should have, that's okay in school, I guess. It just depends on the circumstance, but sharing, it's like one of those child psychology things that I remember very, very well.
Okay, very good. Jay Blaze on the Sharpstream side says school is built now to favor women's ability to learn. I totally agree. Men, we learn by doing. We learn hands-on. Really, Tori, all studying is memorizing. The way, and this is why girls do so much better in school, I guess, pre-secondary education, because it's basically just memorizing. That doesn't take anything away from anyone who is a scholar, but boys learn differently from girls. Do you think there needs to be a change, or should we keep things the way they are in the school system?
From what I know in the research literature, both sexes are considered smart.
Okay.
Like there is no deviation, and if there is, it's like 5 points down, which is technically in research literature the same. Like I think that maybe it's skewed because there's more women than men, and that's just mathematically impossible to calculate because it's like saying if I want to get somebody to work for my machine shop and I want to equal men and women, well, engineer wise, that's not going to be mathematically possible, because you do realize there's more male engineers that are more qualified.
Of course.
So I don't know about that. I do remember I went to a really good school and we did a lot of learning how we learn. So I have ADD and I was a spatial learner, just like men typically are. You kind of have to put the stuff together, or else I would lose focus like that. I couldn't write, read, none of that. So I went to a school where they kind of favored the way you learned, but I wasn't exposed to the material that would be on the ACT, like people who learned better by just memorizing, I guess. So yeah, I mean, if there's a disadvantage right now with men, they should definitely fix that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that is definitely a disadvantage. Rollo Tomasi is in the house, says the problem is that 78% of teachers from preschool to postgrad are female who teach from a female perspective. Boys and girls learn differently. Rollo also says this: our boys now are being taught or raised as though they're defective girls. This is what you alluded to earlier when we were talking about the feminization of men.
Yes.
So, and you agree with that. Can you go a little bit more in depth? Do you have anything to add to that?
I mean, all I think of are like white knights. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
see this on TikTok. See, this is another reason why TikTok is interesting because you see the men that stick up for the
Oh
women
my God. Yeah. It's
and
ridiculous.
they have absolutely no reason to do that. But do I have anything to add to that? I mean, I feel like cutting off their dicks and telling them to say I'm this gender is kind of a big deal. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I would listen. I would say so too. Slambright with a $5 super chat says TikTok is literally free advertising for women to funnel men to Instagram and OnlyFans. It exists mainly to transfer resources from men to women. I
I don't
agree,
see
Tori. What
that.
say you? Well, of course you don't see that because that's not what you use it for. But Slambright is absolutely right. TikTok is like it's the video version of Instagram. Girls can get on there and they can do all these little TikTok dances. Oh, by the way, here's my Instagram. Here's my OnlyFans. I agree. I think it is
They're
definitely
getting banned.
say what now?
They get banned often. Often.
Right, and they create new accounts to continue that to
They
continue
just keep
said following.
getting see, maybe it's different because like you said, like I'm not seeing that stuff. Like the
Mm-hmm.
stuff I see is political in nature,
Right,
but
and
I
that's
don't
because that's
see
what you're
any of the
interested.
dances.
Oh yeah, yeah. Listen,
None.
any guy who's on TikTok, can see. Now TikTok is very vast, but I'm 100% in agreement with Slambre. And to be quite honest with you, Tori, most social media platforms have really become a funnel to Instagram and eventually OnlyFans or paid sites. If you're not a woman who trades in that kind of living, I mean, you're obviously not a working girl, then of course you
I
wouldn't see
get
that because
messages all the time if I am.
there you go. See?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
right.
you could if is it a funnel? Sure, but I think the bigger issue is we need to tell women how awful it is to have Instagram, social media. Like I don't think they understand that when
Why
a
is
man
it?
says
I
I
agree.
don't
I
yeah,
agree.
it,
Why
they
is that?
when
Why is it awful for women to have Instagram? I'm 100% in favor of
because you're
this.
marketing yourself and the way that women receive attention. That's what fuels us. Sex fuels men, right?
Yep.
When you are dating somebody new and you still have your Instagram up, you're marketing yourself as available.
Yes.
You have more of a tendency to sexualize
Yes.
yourself in the event that your boyfriend pisses you off. That's what we call thirst traps.
Mm-hmm.
And no man's going to marry a woman with an Instagram account. I mean, Instagram a few years ago, you would see girls that were in their bikinis and stuff, but now it's just ass.
Yep.
I mean,
That's all it
butt.
is. It's just booty. I have preached this. I've changed my stance slightly on many issues when it comes to not changed my stance, but I've softened or hardened my stances on certain aspects of the red pill. But this is the one thing that I got the most pushback from, and this was from men and women, is I don't date women who are on social media. And I get hit with, Donovan,
Right.
you're never going to. Hey, you know what? Then I guess I'm just not going to. When you are on social media, and I'm glad you pointed this out, women know and they pretend they don't know. Well, I'm on social media to keep up with friends and family. No, social media, this is Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Social media is quite literally a billboard for women to say, look at me. Listen, I am looking for the best offer you can give me. Come and get it. So the way I see social media is this for a woman. If you are in a committed relationship, then there's no need for you to have a for rent sign in your yard. If a man has already signed a lease, then guess what? That house is no longer for rent. Women being on social media while in a relationship is exactly like a landlord putting a for rent sign out in the yard while he still has tenants in there with 3 months left on the lease. So what would you say to women who push back and say, well, if he can't handle me on social media, then he's just being jealous and insecure. He needs to go with somewhere else.
I think the problem is that you know how Tinder apps, people go on there to bang.
Yep.
It's like that's what
That's it.
it's known for.
Yep.
Instagram, it's the same thing,
Yep.
but it's insidious about it. And people are
Ah.
more likely to be it's like, oh, we met on Instagram. It's not that bad to say, right? So when it comes to women and trying to tell them to get rid of it, it's like, how dare you? That's my
Right.
identity. Same
Yes.
with, can I go through your phone? That's
Yes.
your
That's
identity,
right.
at least nowadays. So what I would say to women is I would make the comparison of having social media is pretty much cheating. And it's like, well, can he have social media? I'm like, does he get 100 likes on an ass pic? Like, here's the thing is like, I'm on social media. I've always said this, that if my husband or my boyfriend was like, get rid of it, I would say first, how would you feel if I let you operate it for my job? Because it really is another way that I funnel people to my YouTube.
Sure.
If he's not cool with that, sure, I'll delete it. What's it going to do? We always go to a new app anyway.
Sure.
But like YouTube, it's if he makes enough money and I don't need to do this stuff.
There you go. There you go. No, listen, I totally agree. I've actually never thought about that before.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, like if let's say that Dev were to start, let's say that she were to start an Instagram page, right? The only way I would give her permission to do that is to funnel them to an OnlyFans page that I would be running for her. Now, I'm not going to pimp out my girlfriend like that, but again, that open, honest lack of autonomy.
Yeah.
Instagram, and it's funny, you actually said that. Girls are like, well, Instagram is my identity. They're not lying to you. Their identity
They
is
really
literally,
feel that way.
yes, it's thirst trapping. And I love what you said about Tinder apps, dating apps. What Instagram has done is it has given plausible deniability to girls who hook up with guys on Instagram. Oh, we met on Instagram. So basically free Tinder is how you hooked up. And in their minds, they're like, well, I wasn't on a dating app, so I wasn't looking for dick. Yet you have more ass pictures and tit pictures on Instagram than you actually have
They
the dating
send the
apps.
fire emoji from your story.
Yep.
That's how it all starts.
Wow. See, now I wouldn't know anything about that. Jason Moreno with the $20 super chat says, when there are no rules or consequences, there will always be people exercising those options. Crazy thing is, so many women take that and run without realizing long-term effects. Donovan is right. We were meant to balance each other. Your thoughts on that?
Can you repeat it?
Sure. He says, when there are no rules or consequences, there will always be people exercising those options. Crazy thing is, so many women take that and run without realizing long-term effects. Donovan is right. We were meant to balance each other.
The thing is, now correct me if I'm understanding this incorrectly, men aren't holding women accountable for having social media.
Oh, no, they are
just don't end up reaching back out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they have no incentive to do that. Goes back to the birth control thing because they can still get pussy. Sorry. Sorry. They can still get laid without having to be like, I don't want you to do that. Guys feel like it's controlling to say that.
Sure.
You know? So,
I'll put it to you this way, Tori. Devin can have Instagram if she wants. I tell her all the time, you can do whatever you want to do. My detractors say, well, are you telling Devin that she can't have Instagram or social media? That's not what I'm saying at all. What I told Devin is I do not date women who are on social media. And so if Devin is on social media, she becomes a kind of woman that I don't date. She essentially dumps herself. So if I were in a situation with a woman and things appear to be maybe getting serious, at some point, she's going to ask me, hey, like, what's it going to take to get your commitment? That's when I lay it out to her. Well, look, I'm not going to tell you what you can or can't do. I'm not your father. I'm not interested in being your father. But I don't date women who go to bars or clubs. I don't date women who travel for work. I don't date women who travel alone. I don't date women who are still in contact with their exes. And I don't date women who are on social media. Oh, my God, blah, 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 blah. If a woman is not willing to give those things up to have your commitment, then A, she's not ready for a relationship, or B, she doesn't like you as much as you thought she did.
but I agree completely. I think as long as you're direct like that and say that, a woman wants to be submissive.
Of course.
But the thing is, there's so much, and I would hate to call it propaganda, but memes that are like, if he wants you
That's
to get rid of
propaganda.
your social media, he's controlling.
Right.
So no, correct me if I'm wrong, but men, I've never had a guy tell me to get rid of my social media ever.
Well, this is
I
why. Well, here's the thing, Tori. This is why you're single and unmarried, because you're not going to commit to a guy who's not going to put his foot down and say, "Hey, look, check this out. You belong
Yeah.
to me now." And if you belong to me, you're not going to add. Listen, if you want to go off and advertise yourself, that's cool. Just stay single. This will remain strictly sexual.
But why don't guys tell girls that?
Because they're afraid. You want to know why they
Well,
don't tell
don't be
girls?
afraid.
Well, if listen, I'm 100% agreement
That's
in
what
that.
I'm trying to say is like you guys need to stand up for yourselves and be like, I don't like that. If you
No,
don't want to be with me, it's your frame. They leave.
I am 100% in agreement with that.
Women are stupid.
Well, women are a lot of things. Stupid isn't one of them, but I'll tell you this. The reason why guys are afraid is because they have the scarcity mindset. Guys think, oh my God, I better not piss off Tori because I don't want Tori to be on Instagram, but I'm afraid that she's going to leave. Okay, if Tori
Do
decides
they
to
not
leave,
realize that it's going to do the opposite?
no, they
Guys.
don't. They don't. You want to know why they think it's not going to? It's going to do the opposite because of those
Scarcity.
memes. Not the scarcity, not just the
Yeah.
scarcity. It's the memes. It's the propaganda. You're controlling and possessive and blah 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 blah. I'll submit this to you, Tori. I want to get your thoughts on this. When anyone says, especially a woman says, that's controlling, that's possessive, that's insecure, they are almost always referring to behaviors that you don't want them to do that are conducive to infidelity. Traveling alone, being on social media, hanging out with your exes, things of that nature. Do you agree that when women call a man controlling or possessive, it's only because he has some point of contention with something that leads to cheating, or is it something more, like you said, insidious?
I think you could argue that they have no insight. I think that's what it is. I think women have no insight that their behavior is causing mayhem. Like honestly,
I disagree,
but
Tori. No, I disagree, and this is why I disagree.
but yes,
Women
they
know this.
do.
Yeah. Women, listen, this is why women fight so hard for these behaviors. Women want to reserve the right to be able to hit the eject button and have a net to land on or have a parachute to pull should things go sideways in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you know, women don't go from relationship to relationship. They swing from one to the other. Women want to reserve their right and ability to branch swing if something doesn't go right. That's why they say, well, you can't look at my phone or you're insecure.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. I'm just saying yes, but I don't think women have it in their like I don't think it's calculated in their
Okay.
head. I don't think when they say that, I think they genuinely think it's controlling behavior.
Okay. All right. So they actually honestly believe if he wants me to give up social media, he is trying to control me.
100%
Okay.
because that's what we've been programmed to think.
Okay. All right. KMM with the £2 super chat says she listens to Jordan Peterson. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
did you catch that?
Um,
I
I'm,
forget what thing I brought up, but he brought it was something
I don't
with
listen to Jordan Peterson. I mean, I just don't
yeah,
have the time.
everybody's
But
got mixed. It was about in terms of the engineers. I bet you that's what he was talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. RIP RP Mike says, can you ask her how she would raise a daughter to make sure she does not self-destruct?
I've been thinking about this so much.
Okay.
So much. But I honestly, first of all, with the whole, this is going to sound so stupid, but people are like, why don't you get a nose job? All this shit. And I'm like, I do not want to alter my nose so that if one day I have a daughter and she goes, I'm hideous, why does my mom look like this and I don't? And I know how insecure I was growing up.
Sure.
I would I would feel so fake in that sense. Now, how does that tie in?
Yeah, I was going to say,
Self-image.
what does that have to do? Okay. All right. You're going to tie it in. All right. I was going to say,
So,
let's go.
so self-image is one of the things that I think about all the time with the internet and stuff. And
Okay.
she's going to be young. I know Joe Rogan says he's not giving his daughters phones until
Shit.
I got mine when I was like 17. I
Jesus.
was
Yeah.
older, but that doesn't stop them from seeing all
Sure.
this stuff.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know if I would hire somebody. I know this sounds bizarre, but hire somebody that would only allow certain things to be opened on a phone. Now I know there's apps and stuff, but there's also cheat codes. I used to do PI work, so I know all the backhand stuff of like.
You used to be a private investigator?
Yeah, I was training, so I know a lot of stuff about software. If you're a troll, I can find out who you are, and I probably already did.
Okay, well then you and I will definitely be talking because that's something
I have sure. Needed. If you need anything, I have every software.
Okay, goddamn, dude. Boy, everything happens for a reason, right? Pug Dad with the $5 super chat says here to support you.
I struggle with the idea, like the raising kids. It fucks me up, dude. I think I would homeschool them.
Yeah, well, I think that goes without saying. If I were, I mean, listen, I'm never going to have kids, but if I had a daughter, I would definitely homeschool her without a doubt. I would not send her to public school. Yeah,
like homeschool, and maybe if you trust another couple that has kids, so it's not so much, they're secluded from like the outside. But I've thought about that a lot. I hope I have sons. I'm gonna have like 5 girls.
Well, I was gonna say you'll be 27 next month, so you better get the time's a wasting. You better get started soon. Viking Paradigm.
Do you mind?
Do I mind what?
There's no one to meet right now. We're locked down.
What do you mean we're locked down? Dude,
nobody's out.
Dude,
I haven't been working downtown.
Where the hell are you? You're in Chicago, right?
I'm in the suburbs, but yeah, I work in the city.
Dude, people are dating and fucking and hooking up all over the place. The hell?
I refuse to be subjected to a dating app. I refuse.
Listen,
if you're a ginger and you're watching this right now, let me know.
Check this out. My guess is that you probably, if you actually put yourself out there, you probably wouldn't have any problem attracting men to you without a dating app. It sounds to me like
they won't approach me.
What?
Yeah. Oh, men are scared now. I don't blame them, dude.
Ay. Boy,
should I do the handkerchief thing?
Listen. We laugh and chuckle, Tori, but you might actually have to do that because look,
I'm gonna do it. Maybe I'll get like a body cam. I have one somewhere.
Sure, you do. Being a PI, like I said, dude, you're 26, going on 27. You're still young and fairly attractive, but like if you're looking to have some kids, like it's time to get to getting. It's time to put yourself out there, or I don't know.
I'm into rushing relationships to marriage like right away. So
Yep. Kevin Samuels is the same way. He says dating is dead. He said you should date with intent. It should take you 6 months to figure out whether or not you want to marry somebody. I might not agree. Listen, I might not agree at that timeline, but you also have to train the woman. You have to
be forced. That's what I think.
Oh boy. That would actually be a very good topic for next time. Viking Paradigm with the $5 super chat says, shout out to Donovan Sharp. Found Myron Gaines thanks to you. Now I'm the fresh and fit quote internet guy and networked with the best in the game. Think absolutely KMM with another £5 super chat says, Torsha, why is it that younger women, as on the Fresh and Fit podcast, are so defensive when it comes to admitting they are on social media for attention? Wow.
I was on Fresh and Fit. You should check out my episode, Tekashi 69.
Oh, wow. So you're on that one. So, I mean, why do you think they get so defensive when they get called out for using social media for attention?
Well, do you think they are being honest when they're on the show?
Of course not.
That's one thing I would question. Some people want more attention. Think about it. So if they act out on the show, they get more attention to their Instagram. So I don't know. Like, they don't want to admit it. There's something like it's the same thing with makeup. We wear makeup to entice men.
Yes, of course.
They won't admit it. I do it for myself.
No, you don't.
Fucking don't.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Language, Tori. Come on.
I know. It's one of those things that's bothered me for so long.
Okay.
We don't wear makeup for ourselves.
Right. This is one of the most disingenuous arguments that I hear from men when talking to when they see a woman that they feel is attractive. The first thing they always say, well, what does she look like without makeup on? To me, that's disingenuous. That's like a woman seeing a guy in a suit. He looks successful. Well, let's see him without his suit on. Let's see him without that fancy car. like my nigga, like
We're all
that's
hideous.
what. Well, not only that, it's that women are attracted to resources. We're attracted to looks. Why are you interested in what a woman looks like 10% of the day? Right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, Devin, she wears makeup. Dude, what is 18 hours a day or whatever? Why are we? The reason why they always, well, she's wearing, so let's see her without makeup. That's their way of sort of circumventing the rejection. She's too pretty for me, so I'm gonna pretend like I'd be unattracted to her if she didn't have on makeup. Fam,
like,
she's gonna wear makeup. She's gonna be wearing makeup most of the time anyway. I've never understood that argument.
Yeah,
ever.
they can tattoo it now in your face. So.
Oh yes, yeah. Jay Blaze 11 says nothing less attractive is a woman who swears. I totally agree with that. Jason Moreno $20 says,
I think it's passionate.
Listen, you can call it passion. There are other ways to show your passion. Tori, come on now, come on, work with me.
Gary V, equal opportunity.
Well, I'm not Gary V. No swearing.
I never said you were.
No swear. No. Women don't swear on my show. Not even, dude. Even Dev. I'm like, yo, fucking language. You know what she says? You know what she says? She says, yes, sir. Jason Moreno, $20 super chat says, well, I've said it before. Men are territorial. If she's mine, she's mine. Most women don't understand that, but want those benefits. Set standards and don't budge, but make sure you're worth it. There are more women than men. Let her walk. So Rolo Tomasi says, Torsha is going to bear and raise my son. She's already locked down. I'm going to make Tori a sister wife. Your response?
At first, when you said Rolo Tomasi was in the chat, I thought it was a fake one, but now I can confirm that this is the real Rolo. We've talked about it.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. It sounds like you may already might already be locked down.
If I was a single mom, just think about it for a second. But then I was like, but it's Rolo Tomasi's kid. I don't know if men would be that mad about it.
Men wouldn't be that mad about it. They just wouldn't commit. Like, listen, they'd commit maybe a couple of nights, but like, if you bore another man's kid, that takes you out the running.
Yes.
All right. Well, it sounds like you and Rolo need to discuss this whole sister wife thing. Let's make sure that. No, we have another show to do. He might actually call in when we open up the
Call him, Rolo. We're gonna get a Reddit thing about us. I'm just waiting.
You're gonna get a what?
A Reddit form written about it.
Written about what?
Just wait. Don't worry.
No, you gotta tell me
what is going on.
I don't know what is that. Oh, about you being a sister wife?
Yeah.
Oh, so people are suspecting that there's some foul play going on between you two. Why would they think that?
Because I went with Rolo on Fresh and Fit.
I went with Rolo on Fresh and Fit. Nobody thinks I'm sleeping with him.
I have a vagina.
Okay. Keep going.
I don't know. They've been saying that since I had him on my TikTok.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. These things happen. Welcome to the world of the red pill. Rolo also says, Torsha sent me pics without makeup. She's passed. Okay, very good.
I actually did a whole analysis about how girls can lie about it and zooming in and stuff. Shit's fake now.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you what, man. I did a podcast on like super duper makeup. So I had these videos where these bitches looked completely busted. And they got some professional makeup artists, and all of a sudden they're looking like fucking J-Lo. Went from J-Ho to J-Lo. I'm like, what? It's amazing what they can do with makeup now.
Yeah. Thank you, Rolo, by the way.
Slambright $2 says, well, could be fun to wife up Rolo's baby mama. Oh, there we go.
That's what I'm saying.
We're already getting offers.
We're bidding on the kid.
Yeah, that's not. Listen, you guys
it's not me.
Yeah, you got. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and open up the phone lines. We're gonna go ahead and open up the phone lines. 516-387-1987. 516-387-1987. If you need advice or if you have a question for Tori, 516-387-1987. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to play the video of you asking your father what he would do if you were to bring home a black man. Buckle up, guys. Here we go.
Dad. What? If I brought a LaMarcus home, what would you do? If what? If I brought a guy home whose name was LaMarcus, what would you do?
What kind of question is that?
I'm just asking.
I'm just asking.
Marcus?
LaMarcus.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
So, Tori, Dad grunted.
He's just like,
So look, and check this out. I want to make this perfectly clear. My high school sweetheart, beautiful blonde girl, green eyes. We were both brainiacs. Her father didn't like our relationship. If I were to meet him today, I'd be like, you know what? I understand. And a lot of black men who watch this will be like, oh my God, listen, niggas, get over yourself, man. This is how it is. Even, dude, I remember when Devin and I first met, she was 39 years old, and she's like, oh, my dad would absolutely love you. I said, of course your parents don't have a problem with him being black. You're past the wall. And she admitted it. She said, yeah, that's true. If we had started dating back when I was 21, 22 years old, he would definitely have a problem with that. What are your thoughts?
I was saying before. Yeah. Like if I was in high school type of a thing, but now I don't think so, as long as they were a good provider.
No, you're 26. He would still have a problem with it. Maybe not as much of a problem. You're 26
you know what
now.
I think he would have a problem with? And this is going to be blatantly like honest, but I think he would fear that my child would go through racism and all of those struggles that black men have to deal with. And I think that's what worries him.
That, among other things, what really concerns your father is if you were to have a baby by a black man, he knows as soon as you give birth to that kid, all of your white men will stay away from you. White men will they will avoid you like the plague. All they'd have to do is take one look at your kid. They'd be like, nope, not going to do it. That's
like one of the reasons that I think I would stay single, though, for life.
You'd stay single for life.
That is an instance, like, I don't know, when there's...
Wait a minute, hold on. You'd stay single for life because of what?
Like
if you were to have a baby with a LaMarcus?
Yeah, and people viewed it like that. Like I would, I work for I volunteer at different organizations for men that are single parents with kids in like inner city schools and stuff. And I'm like the female that will give them kind of like a mommy figure a little bit. It sounds weird, but it's not. And so I would probably do the same thing. I would go to those organizations where there's like a strong black father figure or something to help with the kid, but I don't know if I would date again. And I think I would be okay with that in that situation.
Wow, one black baby, and that'd be all you need, huh? That's it. LaMarcus puts a baby in you and you're good to go.
Yeah, fucking LaMarcus.
Language.
Sorry.
Language. Jesus Christ. God almighty.
I'm really working on very impulsive.
You're a woman. Keep it together.
Flying fudge.
There it is. All right, let's go to we got a caller on the line. Let us go to Pius in North Carolina. Pius in North Carolina, you are on live with Donovan and Tori. What's your question?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Doing good.
So I've been seeing these masculinity coaches on YouTube say that male promiscuity is a big reason why female promiscuity is so prevalent in 2021. And they also say if high-value men stop sleeping with 3 or 4s and stop chasing pleasure, quote unquote, then 3 or 4s would stop being 3 or 4s. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
That's a good question.
All right, Tori, go first. What do you think?
I've been seeing a lot of that content as well. And, it's really easy to blame the men again. However, this time I think it's a female problem.
Okay, and why is that?
I'm sure it could alleviate the curve a little bit, but men were put on this earth to propagate. Without men, we wouldn't be having kids.
That's
like
right.
people are like, the woman bears the child. I'm like, if the men didn't have the urge, because most of them wish we would just shut up. But if they didn't have the urge, there wouldn't be another civilization.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
Totally agree.
I think it's easy for them to target their audience to come off as the ethically good people. You have to look
Yes,
at it
of
at like a niche marketing point. That's usually how I see it. And there's a lot more women. And if you want to cater to both sides, you make it a dual problem, right?
Mhm.
That's how I see it.
The way I see it is this, Pius. And we get this. I've gotten this question all the time. Well, you guys talk about girls who are hoes and girls sleeping around, blah 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 blah. Well, if you guys weren't out here smashing these girls, then they would not be hoes. And you're right about smashing 3s and 4s. Men should not be smashing ugly or fat chicks. That just goes without saying. But you have to understand, high value men are not smashing ugly or fat chicks. So we're just talking about the average guys. But the way it works.
No,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was referring to 304s.
Oh, 304s.
Like
I thought you said,
women,
okay,
not a-
smashing hoes. Got
yeah.
it. Okay, good. Okay, we're very good. So if men wouldn't smash hoes, we wouldn't have hoes. And my response to that is you cannot blame the decision of a woman on a man. We're men. We are designed to pursue sexual relations with as many women as humanly possible. We are biologically hardwired to do this. Women can't say, well, I wouldn't be sleeping around if so many men weren't trying to fuck. Well, sweetheart, you can say no. Right?
I've said no every time. I've always negotiated desire. Trust me, they could do it. They just don't.
There you
because
go.
They want to be liked.
There it is, man. And so once again, women are trying to blame their promiscuous proclivities on men. I always tell guys, the best way to shit test a woman is try to fuck her on the first date. If she fucks on the first date, you can have fun with her, but you now know that she is not worthy of commitment because you know you're not the first dude she's ever smashed on the first date. So and the next time somebody asks you this, Pius, just let them know. If they say, well, if men didn't sleep with women, then there wouldn't be hoes. Tell them, well, hoes have the right to say no. Like, just because a man offers you the dick does not mean you have to take it. This is like me getting caught with a pound of cocaine in my car. The cop pulls me over and says, oh my God, you've got a pound of cocaine in your car. Well, it's not really my fault. You see, the demand is so high, I have to have this pound of coke. The officer's going to say, yeah, put your hands behind your back, Mr. Hopkins. You're going to fucking jail. So and a lot of girls also do this too, Tori. They say, well, girls wouldn't be on OnlyFans. They wouldn't be strippers or sex workers if the market wasn't there. Nobody's holding a gun.
Who signed up?
Exactly. No one is forcing bitches on stripper poles. Nobody is forcing bitches to go out and work on the street. But women still want to blame men for their promiscuous proclivities. It's unbelievable. I'll give you the last word, Tori, then we'll go back to the caller.
My dad always taught me, if there's a situation you don't want to be in, don't go in it. So I don't hang out with dudes after 9 p.m. Ooh. Sorry.
You don't hang out with dudes after 9 p.m.
Like if a guy's like, hey, let's go out and do something, I'm like, we can do it during the day. That's it.
Stonewalled them.
But
All right.
I stroke the ego, so they know I like them.
Okay, good stuff. You just don't go all the way.
No.
Stop the cap. All right, Pius in North Carolina. I'll give you the last word.
I actually had one more question, if it's okay with you.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Jordan Peterson is going to be on the Fresh and Fit podcast next year. Do you think he'll be a threat to the red pill's growth in the mainstream? Because people will take what he says as gospel, despite his lack of awareness towards the current state of the dating market. What do you guys think?
Tori, I'll let you go first on that one.
I actually think that he's looking into it. I think that as long as videos keep coming out about Michaela's situation, I think he's absolutely preparing.
Wow.
I bet you he is. Because he has some older videos about it.
Okay.
Some old ones.
Okay. All right. Here's what I think. I think that it's going to be a healthy discourse for Jordan Peterson to be on with Fresh and Fit. And Jordan Peterson, obviously, he's very, very intelligent and all this and that and the other, but no amount of scholarly knowledge, no amount of Jordan Peterson isms, that does not refute biology. This is what, again, this is why Fresh and Fit, Kevin Samuels, this is why guys like me are where we are. We have the truth on our side. And no matter what the outside world tries to say, well, it should be like this. Okay, Mr. Peterson, listen, you can have forced monogamy all you want to. Women are still going to fuck who they want. Men are still going to fuck who they can. Is it fair? I don't know. It doesn't really matter what's fair. It really matters what is.
Yeah, I agree.
Pius, any last questions?
No, it's great insight. I appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. Pius in North Carolina. I appreciate the call. Jason Moreno with the Demon Foxy member for 4 months says, what kind of name is LaMarcus?
It was the first one that came to his head.
Well, the thing is I think I remember mentioning that to you on our first show. Yeah. I was like, what would happen if you brought a LaMarcus home? I thought that was funny.
I didn't forget.
No, you did not. I did not think you were going to ask that question, but you did it. Jason Moreno, $5 says, Donovan, let's go deeper on that. Guys will completely avoid a girl if she's openly seen or have a history with grimy motherfuckers. Change my mind. So
that one you got to be careful about.
Okay, in what way? Elaborate.
There's a lot of people, I've talked about this on my channel, where I've had to like call the cops and stuff because people would continuously say, I dated her, I dated this girl, I dated her, and they would always throw my name under there, and I didn't know this person.
So you had
few people.
So you had men that you didn't date telling people that never met, telling people that they dated you.
Yeah, like compulsive liars. I would get text messages from employers of their there's like, hey, you're their emergency contact. I'm like, what are you talking about? So obviously you always have to vet the person that you're seeing.
Of course.
But be careful the type of people they are, because this person and the other people, they were very much like getting into trouble. They were in the police blotter. Yeah, I'm not saying that makes you a compulsive liar. I'm not, you know, but they were known to have kind of issues. So just, if you're going to ask people, get proof of something.
Sure.
Because one girl, and this was being said when I was still a virgin. I mean, this is crazy. It's been going on for years. And so I can only imagine how many girls go through it.
Why does this happen to you, Tori?
I think, honestly, guys will start dating somebody and let's say they cheated on them. I think they use my name. Like, I'm dead ass. Like, my name is the first one that just comes to mind where it's like, I know they'll never reach out to this girl because it's somebody that I've never met. I don't know.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious why this happens to you a lot. It's because of the way you look.
No.
Oh, Tori, come on. Listen, okay, well, check this out. If you were 200 pounds more than you were now, do you think dudes would be telling other people that they dated you?
Oh, I see, actually.
There you go.
It.
There it is.
Okay.
There you go. So that's really, I've never heard. So
it's
are these
crazy,
so
dude.
so these are guys on the internet? Are these prominent figures or are these just nobodies?
These are just like, I went to one high school. They went to a sister location. This has been going on for years. It's not funny because they're like, who knows what the hell they're saying to people?
Oh my God.
Like, dude, it's annoying. Don't try to fuck my number. Like, fuck you. You're gross.
Language. Oh my God, dude, I'm about to boot you off the goddamn show. I'll tell you what.
I call them out. I name everybody in my other video. So, fuck it.
Okay. All right.
I mean, fudge it.
Fudge it. See, it's funny. You're mildly attractive, but when you swear, like, it's almost like Pinocchio, right? You know, when Pinocchio lies, his nose gets longer. Every time you swear, it's like your nose gets a little bit longer.
My nose is growing all the time.
Yeah. I don't know, man. You might want to think about that.
Can you just be meaner if I swear?
Could I be meaner if you swear?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not a mean person.
Okay.
I just don't like it when women swear in my presence. That's all. Okay. Well, I guess the phone lines are not really being lit up. Oh, wait, there was another comment I wanted to go over on the Sharp Stream side. This is actually a very interesting comment. Jay Blaze 11 on the Sharp Stream side sounds like an Emma Stone movie. So these are just local guys telling everyone that they dated you?
Dude, it's a problem.
Oh my
Like
God.
when I say 1, 2, it's more like 6 or 7. And there's one that comes to the bar all the time, and I embarrass him in front of everybody about it.
Gotcha.
He's like,
Gotcha.
listen, I didn't think she would reach out. I think
Yeah.
they just picked somebody.
Yeah. Yep. Casual Germ says that's a new category of simping. I would agree. Lorenzo Rock says they want to use her to get another girl jealous. Lorenzo Rock says, yeah, I would use her as a wing girl. Yeah, if a guy says, yeah, you know, I used to smash Tori, in his mind, that makes him more attractive to other women.
And he would say that to other girls. I've never had a guy say that to me about another girl.
I guess there's a first time for everything.
Weirdos.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Lorenzo Rock says, yeah, she would bring so much attention from other women if she was hanging out with you. Yeah, it's almost like they're trying to they're trying to get a shortcut to pre-selection.
But I don't hang out with these people. Like, they must have just pulled up on Instagram. Another reason why you shouldn't use social media.
Oh boy. Ay. Oh my God. Well, I'll tell you what. If you're serious about this sister wife thing with Rolo, he's probably not going to allow you on Instagram. Let me ask you this, and I guess this will be. We'll go ahead and round third and head for home here. And by the way, guys, be sure to like the video. Again, remain respectful. Tori's respectful, so we're respectful to her. Even if I have somebody on my show like Gusti or Kevin Ray Wilder, that's not how we do things here. We don't troll, we don't bully. What do you think has to happen for the damage of feminism to be effectively reversed? What would it take for us to go back to not really the way things were, but what would it take for women to finally wake up and say, you know what, maybe sport fucking my way through my 20s and halfway through my 30s before I settle down and get married, maybe that's not really the way. Maybe being a boss bitch isn't the way. What do you think has to happen?
Well, when it comes to the end of high school, I think instead of pushing this, you need to apply to school. I think they have you go to all these classes and stuff, and where you hear speakers from colleges and stuff. Well, we should hear from the mothers. That's one thing.
Right.
To know that you don't, like, you have the decision, and they need to be informed that you're only fertile for this amount of time. It's not 30 like you think.
Right.
That's what they're telling us.
Yeah.
Other things, I think men, men are like the warriors, if anybody's going to get something done in office or at all, men, we need ya.
Not a Michelle Bachmann fan, I imagine.
What the fuck are we doing? Never mind. What the fudge?
What the fudge are we doing? Yes, absolutely. Wow, that is quite interesting. A lot of people think this. They think, well, it's going to get worse before it gets better. So obviously telling girls, hey, listen, like, this is not the way. Do you think there is like some sort of event, some sort of cataclysmic watershed moment in history that all of a sudden wakes women up? Or do you think that this is just going to have to be sort of a slow process?
The programming starts in school. If they told them you only have one choice, be a career woman or be a stay-at-home mom, things would be entirely different.
Wow.
If you only could choose one path, which one would you pick? I bet you most of them would pick the wife route, but they won't admit it.
Wow, they will not admit it. Here's the thing, Tori. I've always been of the mind, and we've got another caller. We got Jay Blaze in Maine coming up next. I've always been of the mind, I'm not going to sit here and tell women that, hey, you know what? Being a housewife is not nearly as exciting as it is living the single life and sleeping around. It's a lot more exciting, but is it more fulfilling, right?
They're ruining their mental health.
And in doing so, they're having all kinds. See, there's a cost to everything.
Yeah.
There is a cost to everything. And I think to really sort of win the hearts and minds of young females and let them know, hey, sleeping around and living the single life, it's a lot of fun. It really is. You want to know what else is a lot of fun?
Don't do that.
Well, here's the thing. You have to put this in context. it might look like it's a lot of fun, but
There
it
you
comes
go.
it comes with it looks like it's fun, but a lot of these girls, you only see these girls when they're at the bar or they're on social media. But what happens behind closed doors, the other 23 hours of the day, that's not the kind of life you want to live. You're drinking yourself to sleep every night. You're being used for sex by 5 and 6 guys. Your mental health is all over the place. It might look like fun, but behind closed doors, this is not the life you really want to lead. Is that a better way to characterize it?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to feminists and I'm like, so if you're so pro sexual liberation, what do you see yourself doing in a few years? And it always amazes me that they say find a husband and settle down and have a family.
Oh my God. Wow.
And I've asked,
Wow.
do you feel like you lose yourself every time you sleep with someone new? And they always start crying. I'm like, why don't you preach what you feel? Stop it. You're literally just making the governments happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you realize this has nothing to do with you as a person, like it has nothing to do with women and choice. It has nothing to do with that. It's the government. Wake up.
The government, listen, the government is now incentivizing women to become single mothers.
Oh yeah.
That's what they're
Oh,
doing.
they've been doing that.
Jesus Christ, probably since the 80s. Let us go to Jay Blaze in Maine. Jay Blaze in Maine, you're on live with Donovan and Tori. Go ahead.
Can I first add on to the point you just made about the them doubling down?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
You see it with general managers like NFL teams or NBA. They refuse to admit they're wrong.
Oh,
and
God,
they refuse
yes.
to take the accountability.
Yeah.
And so they'll just double down over and over.
Yep.
That's what happens with
Yep.
mob mentality. It's been studied in Dr. Carl Jung's unconscious work. I've talked about this a lot. It's a confirmation bias. They just double down until they break.
Real? Oh, okay. Wow. And this is
Break
and so when we're talking to these, and I'll get back to you in a second here, Jay Blaze. So when you're talking to these feminists who clearly like they don't agree with the life they're living, the only reason why they're afraid to speak out about it is because of that mob mentality. They don't want to
Yes.
disappoint the sisterhood. Wow.
Because as soon as you say it's biological, they're like, but we're able to socially construct better human beings. It's like, where in history have we done that? That doesn't even scientifically make sense.
Wow.
How do you test for that?
Right. And
don't.
Well, not only that, Tori, what we have to understand is you can't fight biology. Like you can't like it's so funny. Women would love to think that they could love unconditionally. I don't know if you watch much TV, but there are all okay, well that's actually pretty good then. There are all kinds of commercials now. Every kiss begins with K and all these jewelry brokers. And like we need to understand that women do not love unconditionally. This is not something you guys are biologically programmed to do. If women truly loved unconditionally, then the best genes would be bred out of existence within a matter of 3 generations. No, there are conditions to women's love and respect. We need to understand that.
The only time that they will is if it's the father of their child. They feel a certain attachment to them, but it's still not unconditional. But usually to some capacity, they want to work it out with the father.
Of course. And that really is that's for a lot of different reasons. Okay, Jay Blaze, what was your question for either myself or Tori?
You were talking about education, so I believe you need to get more into critical thinking more than memorization, because we're pretty much creating drones or sheep that will be sent to college or whatever, and they're shoved down points down their throats without even understanding it, in my opinion.
What are your thoughts on that, Tori?
I think ethics and logic courses should be mandatory in your gen eds. It's not currently, and it should be.
Right.
Because those are the classes. I've double major in philosophy and psychology. Those
Economics,
are the classes that really make you think. They do the thought experiments.
Yes, right.
All of those. I think people are just so moved by, TikTok tunnels in toxic information that's
Yes.
false and
Yes.
it makes it move. Like you look at Astro World, that thing lasted maybe a week.
Jesus.
And everybody
Maybe.
forms an opinion about it based on conspiracy. It's crazy.
And
I agree with you though.
No, listen, I'm 100% in agreement on that. I think critical thinking skills are, I think that's paramount. And thank you for the call, Jay Blaze. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Very, very good call. Very, very good question. I'll actually submit this to you, and we'll go ahead and end it after this. The one, and I've always said that the easiest thing for a woman to get is like the 4-year degree. To me, that's fraudulent. Like it is absolutely fraudulent, right?
It's your sexual agency.
Yeah,
baby.
dude, you see what I mean? And here's the thing. Education in America is easy, especially for women. You want to know how I know? Because 67% of college students are women, and women almost never do what's hard, right? When is the last time we heard of a female in this part of the world take the road less traveled, the more difficult thing? Never, right? This is why there are far more women who are sluts than women who are virgins until they're married. Because being a slut is easy. Abstaining from sex is hard. It's actually very, very difficult. What do you think? Do you think abstaining from sex is easy?
It honestly, it depends on your environment.
Okay.
I don't know. That's one thing that I don't understand.
Okay.
That's something that I'm still trying to understand because I've never had a one night stand and you keep capping me on it, but like I've never gone out and just banged somebody. So I don't know.
Okay. So you're the type of woman who you listen to your dad say, hey, listen, if you don't want to be in a certain situation, then don't put yourself in that situation.
Yeah. And I've always bartended. And so like for me to end the night, it's already 6 a.m. Birds are out. Like I'm not going to go home with somebody. So that was helpful. But I've never had the urge to either. So I don't know if that was just because I value sex so highly, kind of in a cosmic way, like Jordan Peterson says.
Sure.
Not very red pill. I get it. But like,
no, but for a
don't know.
woman, no, listen, but you're telling the truth. Sex means a lot more to women than it does men. For me, sex is just an act. I'm just trying to get my rocks off. That's all there is to it. But for a woman, it's emotional, it's cosmic because another man is entering your body. There is so much more at stake when sex occurs for women than men. And dude, let's just take pregnancy out of it. Pregnancy and STDs. There are all sorts of chemical changes that happen, the emotional connection that a woman feels to you. So women who give themselves away on the regular, they lose that ability to really bond with someone.
They're never going to be able to pair bond.
No.
They're
no
going to
way.
have to, the Petri dish babies, just
Ugh.
because
God.
I was the only one that wasn't a Petri dish baby in my family, and there's 4 of us.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very good. What was your relationship with your father like? Because it sounds like he grounded you well. He was very, very. He was because because I think this could be sort of a blueprint for people. And again, I know you well enough to understand that you appear to be the genuine article. So let's just assume that you had a good relationship with your father. How did your father raise you? What were some of the things that he did and said, things that he kept you away from that made you value sex? The fact that you've never had a one-night stand or that you don't put yourself in those positions. What did Papa Grow do to put you in this position? I like that, Papa
I'm
Grow.
going to sound like Brittany Renner right now. That's $1 million question.
Oh boy.
But I'm writing a book on that, so
Okay.
I'm going to hold off on that answer. I don't want to give away anything.
Okay.
But
All
there
right.
are some things that are different than what most people do.
Okay.
I'll tell you that.
Okay, very good. Let me ask you this. When you were 18, did you move out of your parents' house or did you live with them?
18, I lived with them. I went to community college first 2 years. That's one of the
There
things.
we did. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Listen, man,
Do
Devin's...
not send them.
Yes, listen, Devin's niece, Olivia, She turns 14 in January, and she's over here a lot because of her family situation is crazy. But it's getting to a point she is becoming very like it's insane. Like she's, oh my God, I've known her since she was like 7 or 8 years old.
Is she acting out?
Nah. I mean, not anything abnormal as far as I know. I mean, I don't live with her. I mean, I see her probably once or twice a week, but we are drilling into her head. We're like, yo, check this out. Do not go. And we're actually thinking, so she is 14 now. So in 4 years, she'll be 18 and I'll be damn near 50. Dude, Devin will be. So we'll almost be 50. We'll be pretty close to financial retirement. We're actually thinking about asking Olivia's mother, hey man, like if you can't afford to have Olivia live with you when she turns 18, send her over here. She can live in another wing of the house. We'll give her a car to drive. Because if she goes off to college, Tori, that's it's a wrap.
You're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
It's a wrap.
Seriously.
Man. That's probably one of the best decisions your father probably ever made, didn't he?
I wasn't allowed to have my license until I was 18. So that kept me away from all the kids that would get drug charges and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It worked though. There was a lot of stuff.
Well, of course. And I'd be very interested. When is this book coming out? Because I am interested in getting my hands on that book.
It's going to be a short one. I mean, I'm only halfway done, but I mean, it's all outlined.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I write it the right way.
No, I understand. Because a lot of guys.
I'll work on it faster.
Yes, please. Please get that
it's
motherfucker
set
done.
up so that if you did this, here are your 2 options. So then you click this one type of a thing.
Choose your
what
own
you're
adventure.
reading,
Are you writing
it's
a choose your own adventure book?
Magazine tests.
Okay. I like it. But this is a very important publication because people see you, even myself. I look at you and I make a lot of assumptions that appear to not be the case. I'm not saying I believe you, but I'm not saying that I don't. It's just that from what I'm seeing and hearing, just based on your relation, you're still very close to your father, didn't have a license until you were 18, you went to community college. Now when you tell me things like, hey, you know what, I've never had a one-night stand, that to me, that raises the likelihood that you're probably telling the truth. And a lot of guys, there was even a super chat in here that said, hey, Tori, how would you raise your daughter? I would suggest raising your daughter the same way your father raised you.
And I'll tell you right away is a lot of it is not as disciplined as you think. And there's a lot of psychology behind that. We know the more disciplined you are, the more likely you're going to rebel.
Of course.
So I know a lot of people think, I have to be like this. It's like, no, you don't. But there's a lot that goes into it. So I'm trying to make it super easy. Just like if you're in the car and you're like, shit, I did this. Is this going to work? And it's like, no.
Right. No, totally agree. Slam Bright with the $5 super chat says the effinism genie is out of the bottle. The birth rate has to dip so low that the effect hits the average woman personally before change will occur. Do you agree or disagree with that? That's interesting.
It's like, are you saying that women need to know? What do you mean?
So what he is saying is that the birth rate is going to have to get so low that there just aren't going to be that many men around. I mean, there's a man shortage.
Have you looked at the stats? They're pretty low, and nobody's really doing anything.
I guess it's going to have to. It's going to have to hit rock bottom.
Per
right?
person. I think it's 1. Kareem told me this. It's 1 kid per 3 people, or something like that. And
wow,
so overseas,
what? Oh,
overseas,
that's insane.
where they're having babies, it's about 3.5 per person. That just goes to show you. It's already low, baby.
Whoa. 1 kid per 3 people in the United States?
Yeah, and then flipped.
Holy shit.
3.5 to 1 person overseas.
Dude, we're going to go extinct.
We're at the lowest that you can be, I'm pretty sure.
Wow, that shit. I don't know how much lower it has to go because that's pretty
So the fact that
low.
they don't realize it yet says a lot. There's going to be other changes.
Devin in the chat says IVF will be subsidized or tax deductible before the end of the decade. I
I said it. IVF clinics are going to be the new business ventures to go into.
Jesus.
Having it walk in right on the side.
Oh my
Telling
God.
you, dude. Like,
God almighty.
that's my prediction.
Hugdad, $2 says I'm going to change my username to Lamarcus in Vegas.
My dad literally said no.
That's funny as hell.
I can't disrespect my father.
Well, check this out. If you fall in love with a Lamarcus,
I won't put myself in that situation.
Okay, all right. Watch out for those
Yeah.
Lamarcuses. Riley with the $5 super chat says, I'll be in Chicago this weekend. Torsha, busy Saturday?
Yes,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Is his name Riley or La Riley?
It's like those two letters can really just make a difference.
Well, listen, I always say this. This is just my 2 cents. If you have to hold down the shift key more than one time when spelling your first name, your mama was probably a hood rat. So Lamarcus, Tamarcus, Shamarcus, Jamarcus.
You know where that comes from, though?
Where?
Actually, I don't want to make this a thing, but it had to do with slaves and their babies getting taken from them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had to have not weird, but different names. So when they'd call out for them,
You know, it's
they would know
interesting.
that it's them.
I've read articles on this, and I know I'll get this back on track, but the prevalence to give African American babies unique names, that's also an issue in the white community. Now, the white community, they don't take variations of names to blacken it up, like LaMichael, Jamarcus. No, what white people do is they spell it all kinds of fucked up ways. Right? So instead of the classical Ashley, Ashley, which is the way every Ashley, now it's Ashleigh, Ashlee, Ashli. So white people and black people are.
For black people that maybe you're younger and applying to college, you're going to have a very high advantage because of your name.
Totally.
Again, over a white person for diversity.
Well, maybe
if
in
you
college,
have better grades.
Listen, if I own a company, I've owned, well, not companies, but I used to have a mattress chain and I had employees, right? I had employees that worked for me. If I ever got an application that said Ladarius or Lamarcus, guess what? See you later. I'm out of there.
Really?
Yes. Oh my God, that's racist, blah, 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 blah. Listen, man, moms and dads need to refrain from this ego trip that comes from trying to give your kids names that are somehow unique. Listen, and we got parents, and this is white and black people. We got these parents giving their kids these fucked up names just so that they can tell everybody, well, my kid's name is Alex, Alyxe. What?
Why?
Oh my God, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Listen, my hand to the fucking man. I used to work for a company called Value Options. And what I did is I used to go in and I used to screen the reports for kids receiving mental health help in Medicaid. Now, you know that Medicaid patients are lower socioeconomic status.
Medicaid, yeah.
Yeah, I used to see, I saw a name that was spelled L-A, pronounced Ladasha. There was a name I saw. The girl's name was Absidy. The name was spelled A-B-C-D-E. Listen, I'm telling you. Yes, it is. It was just, dude, apostrophes and
on the keyboard.
If you have to hold down the shift key more than one time when spelling your first name, your mama was probably a hood rat. So that went completely. Lucretia, I actually banged a white girl named Lucretia in Vegas. She was not at all what I expected her to be. It was weird.
She mixed?
She looked like she had a little something else. She was mainly white, but she had other features that looked maybe Filipina. Like little, dude, she was whitewashed American, but she wasn't She wasn't
She a
completely.
little black. A little something.
Oh no. She showed me a
Asian?
picture of her father. Yeah, I'm thinking Asian, Filipino. Oh, here we go.
I got
Oh boy, listen to
Wait,
this. Listen to
Hold on.
this.
6% on my laptop. I can't plug it in, just so you know.
Okay, all right. We'll go
Sorry
ahead and
about-
we'll get you out of here on this.
Okay.
Erica with a K is certified crazy. Leandre Jackson, Jaxson. Lucretia, yes, absolutely. Levante Quan. Oh my God. Okay, never mind. Tori, as usual, fantastic show. Once again, you've represented yourself well. Thank you very much, in all seriousness, for the tech support on the soundboard. Guys, follow her on social media,
YouTube.
TikTok. Yeah, YouTube,
Yeah.
TikTok, all that other kind of stuff. She's actually going to be starting a new hashtag, hashtag Rolo sister wife of Rolo Tomasi. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. Any last words?
No, this was fun.
Good.
Thank you for having me again.
Absolutely. Next, I don't know what we're going to talk about next week, but it's going to be highly controversial.
Guys, put it in the
Highly
comments.
controversial. Yes. Show topics
And
in the
whichever
comments.
one gets the most likes, I guess we'll do that. Make it controversial.
Yes, that would be great. Thank you guys all very much for tuning in. We will see